Hello there, Pokemon fans. I have a game here against Dark Barracuda. If you caught that in the beginning, he has a YouTube channel. I'm probably going to send him a message. He's actually not one of my subscribers, I don't believe. But, I looked him up, and I guess there's a YouTube channel. I assume it's the same person. But, anyways, I'm playing the ReshiPhlosion deck that I decided to show a profile of. This game's a little bit sped up just because I've been noticing a lull in my playtcg.me narrations, just kind of more time than I need to talk about what's going on. Anyways, I'm going to start off with Cleffa, which is pretty solid. I have the Pokegear, not thinking I'm going to get donked unless I'm playing something like Mewtwo, Celebi, Tornadus, whatever. But he's taking a second to set up here. He, unfortunately, TCG was glitching. I think he might have clicked the basics button already, or the done showing basics, before he actually put this basic down or something like that. But I think that's the only glitch. So I draw into another Typhlosion, and I'm just gonna Pokegear here. Really hoping that I can hit the Collector, and I do. I hit two of them actually, and it's really a hard hand to decide or not if it's a good idea to Collector out or not. It's because I want to be able to evolve into Quilava's turn 2 and all, but I think at the end it's gonna be something I probably eek for. I don't actually remember. I'm pretty sure I eek though. But anyways, I'm gonna play the Collector. I'm definitely gonna grab two Cyndaquils. He's running Trollentode, which is Seismitoad Wigglytuff. It's also called Round. I like Trollentode better. It's it's a clever name. But and that's basically a deck that both Pokemon use an attack called Round to do damage based on the number of Pokemon that have Round. I believe they both use a DCE to do it. Actually, the Stage 1 of Palpitoad uses 3 energy to do it, but Seismitoad does 30 times the number of Pokemon in play. I think that Palpitoad and Wigglytuff are both 20. So Seismitoad is your main attacker, and then the other guys are really there for support. But I'm going to eek and get an alright hand, but he's going to Level Ball. Level Ball is really nice for his deck because he is able to search out both the basics and stage 1s for Seismitoad, and he's also able to get out both Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff. I think only has 90 HP, so that's really, really a good thing. And now he's going to play a Heavy Ball. I'm kind of surprised by this. Just, take a little peek at Timple to seeing what it does. But he's going to grab out the Seismitoad using Heavy Ball. It's got a 3 retreat. And at this point, I'm thinking he might try and Candy turn 2, but he instead decides to just communicate it out. So, a little more involved than it needed to be. He could have just, showed me both and just told me he had a Seismitoad in his deck, or, showed it really quickly. But, I probably would have believed him. It's hard to imagine him having all his Seismitoads prized. Anyways, he's going to get out yet another Timple. He's definitely focusing on this half of the deck, the Seismitoads, knowing that he's going to be able to hit me for weakness. And also that, they're probably more important to set up anyways because they're the ones that take longer. He's now going to Juniper. So he's played a lot of trainer cards now, and then is able to get off the Juniper even after all that. So I'm kind of nervous. I'm thinking he's probably going to be able to lay down a basic or two more, and he's going to have a really nice turn 1 here. But there's, some pause on his side. I guess he's not really sure what to do. And he's going to communicate out yet again. There's the Wigglytuff. I want to check it out to see if it has 90 HP or not. I'm also looking at Round. And he's going to grab out his own Cleffa. And I'm expecting him to eek here, I guess. The deck needs a lot of rare candies, a lot of stage 2s to be really good. He does retreat, and I think he's just going to eek. So there you have it. And he has a little trouble returning his hand into his deck, but We're both going to have to flip for sleep here. I did stay asleep on my first turn, which is, first turn is not really that good. And we see I still stay asleep, which is unfortunate because now I miss an opportunity to eke. I draw into Sage's Training, which is nice. I have a rare candy in my hand already. So I'm hoping to get the turn 2 Typhlosion. And we see I do hit the Typhlosion as well as a Quilava and a Reshiram. It's kind of a hard decision here because as much as I want to grab the Quilava and the Typhlosion and just go stage 1, stage 2, or stage 1 and a rare candied stage 2, I need the Reshiram just to be able to have enough attackers. I know he's going to be able to, at a certain point, take me out hit after hit, so I'm not okay with using that many of my main attacker as kind of junk arm fodder. Or not junk arm, Sage's fodder. So I just decided to rare candy. I attached the Rocky helmet here, and this is very important because Seismitoad has 140 HP, and these Rocky helmets are going to be very important in this game. I know that. It's a lot like Magnezone, who's the main reason I'm running them, but they have the same amount of health, so it's really the same kind of matchup. I flip and stay asleep, so not the greatest, but he actually compliments me on my rolls, but I'm actually not really satisfied with that. I'm happy I guess I stayed asleep here in case he gets out in case he gets out the Seismitoad, that is, and is able to round even having one Seismitoad in play, lets you knock out Cleffa. So he's gonna flip Awake. And he's going to get out a Palpitoad. And I'm going to check Palpitoad out. Here we see Palpitoad has a 3 energy cost for his round attack. So Palpitoad is the worst attacker, of the 3 you could potentially attack with in this deck. He's got the same damage output as Wigglytuff, less HP, and an extra energy cost. So tip if you're playing Troll Toad, don't use him. He's going to catcher me out into my Typhlosion, which wakes up my Cleffa. And I'm kind of nervous now. That was, something, if he can make it so that I can't retreat very easily, then it's going to be bad. I really don't want to lose that Typhlosion. If he decides to, if he has enough catchers to continuously catcher and, round these Typhlosions and do lots of damage for weakness, I'm not going to have any energy acceleration and I'm not going to be able to win. I draw for turn, and I'm going to look through my discard. I don't have anything useful in there, so I want to go for the N here, just to conserve the junk arm, I believe. I did already discard the one Quilava, so I'm nervous about being able to get up the stage 1s and stuff, but it turns out to be a fantastic N on my part. I am able to get out my 1 switch. I hit a communication. I get the energy I need to blue flare. I got a Quilava and another Cyndaquil, which is nice. So I am sitting very pretty. I'm going to be able to blue flare here even and take the first prize. So that end definitely saved my butt. I was pumped when I hit it. I tried to do this as a live narration, but it was a little too laggy for me, and I just decided that I'd just redo it. Try and keep quality videos for you guys, but that was one part where I was really pumped. I get the Sages as my prize as well, which is nice. I could use 1 or 2 more energy in the discard at this point, although I do have the 2, which is really all you need. Anyways, he's going to be able to attach another water to his. Or is he attaching water to his Seismitoad, or maybe he was moving his Seismitoad active? But I'm expecting either way. I'm expecting and sorry, that was a Palpitoad, but I'm expecting the Seismitoad this turn. I am expecting him to be able to round me for KO. Or maybe not though. He hasn't gotten out any Wigglytuff. Here is the Professor Elm's training method. It's interesting how much search he runs, but I guess you need to run a lot of search in that deck. I just check out Seismitoad. He's pretty pokey. He's a weird looking Pokemon too, I'm not going to lie. But he is able to attach to water, and then he plays a switch, which I kind of think is weird, and I check out Seismitoad again, I guess. Oh, I was checking to see what his retreat cost was, because I was like, that must have an immense retreat cost. But he's just going to fodder out a Dynamo here. He's basically asking me to kill it. He also, though, is, I think, trying to set me up to be KO'd, letting me blue flare myself in order to put damage counters on me and be able to round me. I'm going to play my Sages here, and I think I'm doing that because I want to lay down the Quilava, but at the same time I want to be able to lay down the Cyndaquil, but I want to be able to get a Typhlosion too. I hit the perfect hand, really. So I'm going to be able to get out the Typhlosion. So there's 2 Typhlosions, and shouldn't bench the Reshiram. I have one on the bench, and I have a free retreater. So really, I'm as set as I need to be. I'm going to attach Fire Energy manually to Reshiram. Yeah, that's definitely the right play too, so I have another one in the background that I can blue flare with if this one gets knocked out. And I actually don't go through the process of attaching the Fire Energy and blue flaring. It's kind of understood that I am taking 2 energy from my discard, attaching them to my active Reshiram, using both my Typhlosion's Poke Powers. They both use blue or Afterburner. Puts a damage counter for each energy, and then I do 120 damage. So take another prize card. It's another Fire Energy, which is nice. I'm not going to complain about those. I do want to be able to start keeping 1 energy on each Typhlosion. That way I can retreat with them. That's kind of what you do when you have your extra energy attachments during your turn that you don't need for blue flares. He's going to play a Collector. And at this point I'm expecting some Jigglypuffs to hit the field. I've knocked out a Tympole already, and he only had a couple out. So there's the last Tympole, the 4th one. And he also gets out Jigglypuff, and that goes to his hand. He then communicates it, which means that he could get out a Seismitoad, or not a Seismitoad. I keep mixing those 2 up. No, he gets out a Seismitoad. I guess my blunder was correct, but I was thinking Palpitoad and just straight evolving. But this makes me think he has the candy. So he drops the candy and gets out a second Seismitoad now. And because of the 2 damage counters on my active Reshiram from my Afterburners, he's going to be able to round me and does 120 damage to me, which knocks me out. But because I have a Rocky Helmet attached to my active, I then in turn do 20 damage to him, which puts him in range of being KO'd by Blue Flare. I draw into the end, a second end rather, and I decide not to play it simply because I just, he has 3-card hand. I don't want to give him 2. I don't want to net him 2 cards. It doesn't really seem logical. So I'm just going to retreat, and once again I'm going to be able to double Afterburner and Blue Flare, and this is going to be able to knock out yet another Seismitoad. So I'm 2 prizes up in the exchange, which is really nice. I've got a Reshiram active, 1 on my bench, 2 Typhlosions, and I just drew into the rare candy. So any Pokemon I draw now with a rare candy and a communication will probably mean that I'll be able to get out a 3rd Typhlosion, which is really strong for my setup. I won't have to worry about 1 getting knocked out. I'll still have, the 2 you really need to be functional. And yeah, so that goes well. He's gonna draw for turn, and he's gonna Oak. So, I mean, I guess my N really didn't do anything, or wouldn't have really, hurt him or done him any good. You know, if he top decked the Oak, he gets out a Palpitoad, Palpitoad, and he drops the DCE, which means that he's going to be able to return KO me. And I don't have any Rocky Helmets attached now, so now it's going to get into a bad exchange. You know, because of damage from Afterburners, he's really going to go at this at a 2-1. But I top deck the Rocky Helmet on this one, so you know, really beneficial there. I think about playing the end, but I want the last Typhlosion, so I'm going to hold off. Even though, you know, it's unlikely I have too many Pokemon left in my deck. I already saged one, I've lost a couple from knockouts, and you know, this deck only runs about 16 of them. So I'm going to Afterburn 2, and I'm just going to move Typhlosion to the active spot. He has the 2 energy assumed from Afterburner that I'm too lazy to actually move to the discard. I really should just be putting them in a pile, I guess, outside my discard or something like that, but you know, I guess I got a little bit lazy. So anyways, he's going to take the 120 damage, and now if he attacks me, he's going to knock himself out, which is nice. If not, you know, I'm going to do 20 damage to something when it attacks this Reshiram, and eventually he's going to have to confront it, so I'm not too worried. He junk armed 2 cards, which I find interesting. One of them's a Jigglypuff. He really ignores getting the whole Wigglytuff line out for communication. And he's going to play the communication, and I think the only thing I could see him getting out, other than, you know, Jigglypuffs to set up, is another Seismitoad, which he does in fact grab. And at this point, you know, I'm a little nervous. You know, he'd still have a Seismitoad active after this now. He only has 1 card though, so that's definitely in my favor. But it could be like a draw supporter, like a Juniper, and he could just be sitting on, you know, a brilliant hand, and he's gonna be able to round. I'm also threatened because a Seismitoad with 2 water and a colorless can deal a bunch of damage. It can do 70 times 2 for weakness. It can knock out basically anything in my deck. But I draw a key prize card here. It's a Cyndaquil, which is beautiful because that means that I can communicate it away and get out a 3rd Typhlosion. And the reason Typhlosion is actually going to be really good in this situation is his attack, Flare Destroy, discards one of your opponent's energy. He only has a water energy attached, so I'm going to be able to, every turn at this point, discard an energy attached to him, and that's going to slow him down tremendously unless he hits those DCEs. And even then, I can, you know, discard the DCE with the next one, and those are, you know, completely beyond recovering. I'm going to attach to my Typhlosion. I'm going to double Afterburn once more. So I take the 2 damage counters, which does put me in range of being KO'd by a 2 Pokemon round, if permitted. Seismitoad's the one who uses it. I do attach one of them onto my Typhlosion because he only discards 1 energy and requires 3. Okay, and so he discards the energy, and he takes the 70 damage. So now entering those, you know, final stages of the game where it becomes clear I'm going to win, pretty much. I mean, I'm going to be able to discard his energy every turn, and I'm also, you know, 1 attack away from KOing him. He's got 2 cards in his hand. If he can't lays down a basic, I win. But he's going to scoop here, so that was a great game. Stark Barracuda, rate, comment, subscribe, you guys, do your thing, and thanks for watching.